North Carolina is a leader when it comes to insurance education at the university level. We have 3 universities, Appalachian State, UNC Charlotte, and East Carolina, that offer a program in risk management and insurance. These programs are a vital part of the insurance industry in North Carolina and worldwide as they produce our future leaders and have been heavily supported by the Independent Insurance Agents of North Carolina. Hi, I'm Kelli Hefner, and I invite you to join me as we explore the risk management and insurance programs at these 3 universities, how they began and their future goals. We will also explore the rich history of the Independent Insurance Agents of North Carolina and the impact they have had in the development and the success of these programs. The Independent Insurance Agents of North Carolina have been at the forefront in support of insurance education at the university level in North Carolina. The commitment that IIANC has made has propelled North Carolina to be the leader in risk management and insurance education among colleges and universities throughout the nation. IIANC truly believes, with their commitment to the 3 universities in North Carolina, that they are insuring the future.
The Independent Insurance Agents of North Carolina's involvement with higher education as it applies to risk management and insurance at 3 institutions, that being Appalachian State University, University of North Carolina at Charlotte, and as well the new program at East Carolina University. This association has been a major player in the funding of those programs, especially in the infancy stages of the program at Appalachian State.
The program began back in the late 70s, before I was here. The faculty prior to me didn't have a lot of staying power, let's say. So actually the major was in place, I believe, in 1979, and the university had there are not a whole lot of insurance professors running around. And so the university had a hard time finding a person to fulfill that position. But the program really began in 1988 when the Independent Insurance Agents of North Carolina established the Brantley Risk and Insurance Center, and that was in honor of Richard S. Brantley's dedication and service to the insurance industry and to the Independent Insurance Agents of North Carolina specifically. He served as their CEO, executive director of that association, for 38 years. And upon his retirement, they honored him with the naming of the center, a significant contribution to start the endowment, and a commitment to help us raise the endowment for the Brantley Center, which funds the operations of the Brantley Center.
Over the past 22 years, the Brantley Risk and Insurance Center has seen immense growth.
When we first started out, actually before the Brantley Center was founded, I think when I got here in 1985, we had 3 students that were interested in studying insurance. So now we have 120 students in that range. We've expanded the curriculum. The curriculum changes every year. We don't change the courses so much, but we're constantly trying to make sure that our courses are cutting edge, that we're incorporating the latest changes, the latest developments in the risk management profession, and developments in insurance coverage forms, changing market, and so it's constantly evolving.
This growth has brought about many changes to the program at ASU.
The biggest change is the fact that we are obtaining national prominence. We do so much more with the students in terms of travel, bringing guest speakers to campus, just so much more opportunities for them. And plus we have so many more companies recruiting on campus as well. It's the bigger we get, the more opportunities it seems to create for our students.
The Independent Insurance Agents of North Carolina have been very supportive of the program from the beginning and have been one of the driving forces in its success.
Well, they've influenced the program. They've made the program possible, to be honest with you. But they've influenced it by supporting us. They have in no way ever tried to influence the curriculum whatsoever. but they have been responsive to help us create the curriculum and develop anytime we've needed sample forms or examples, guest speakers. We've just had a tremendous response from members of the IANC to step up, come to campus, provide shadowing opportunities for our students, hiring our students. So they've definitely made a great impact and have been very much a positive influence in that regard.
One of the many contributions by the Independent Insurance Agents of North Carolina to the Brantley Center has been student scholarships.
Another huge impact has been the scholarships. The independent agents have established a scholarship here. We have a scholarship in memory of John Young, who was a very dedicated insurance professional that worked with the independent agents, came up here and taught for us for a couple of years, and just as we still sort of feel his spirit in the halls here, because he was just a tremendous asset for us when he was here. So we have a scholarship in his memory. So that scholarship support has been very much a positive influence as well.
The Brantley Center offers several concentrations within the major, which allows students to go into different areas of the insurance industry, including independent agencies.
The way we have again, this sort of goes back to the way the program has evolved. The way we've structured our program now is more of a commercial lines versus personal lines. And then in addition, we have a financial planning track that is really part of the finance major, but a lot of the students participate in that. So basically, I would say there's three areas or three tracks that students can follow: commercial lines and risk management, personal lines, and then financial planning. Most of our students go to work for insurance companies, either as claims adjusters or underwriters. But more and more, and I grew up in an independent agency environment, and we've finally been able to achieve some success in placing students in independent agencies. That's been a goal of mine and a passion of mine for a long time, and we're really finally starting to see some fruition there. Some students have gone out and they've done exceptionally well in terms of performing for those agents and proving that a student can come straight out of college and be successful as a producer in an independent agency. So we've been very proud of that.
What makes this program unique from others around the country?
I would think the Brantley Center, the fact that we have the Brantley Center and its services make it unique. I don't know of any other programs that really have a dedicated center for to help the students develop their careers, to develop outside the classroom, so to speak. We do a lot of travel. We take students to lots of different conferences and have them participate, which other schools do as well, but I think we'd probably do more of that. And I think we do a good job in not only just taking students to a conference, but trying to make sure that the students get involved, that they intermingle, they interface with the other participants, the agents, the company people that are at the conferences, the risk managers that might be at a conference. And I think we do a really good job in that regard. I think we also do a good job of making sure that the students have a good taste of what's really going on in the industry and in the profession. And we do that a lot of different ways, through a shadow day, through the travel opportunities I've mentioned. One example of that we bring into the classroom is a case study that Dr. E will primarily drive the case study, and is part of our risk management course. And the students basically develop anywhere from a 50, 60, 70 page analysis of a company from a risk management perspective. And so they get a real taste of what it's like to do a risk management audit, what all the different insurance coverages are, and how they should apply, and more so than just what they would get out of a textbook.
The risk management class is designed primarily as a capstone class that takes together everything that our students have learned in all the risk management courses, but also some of their finance courses, and puts them together and so that they go out knowing what we believe the key skills are that they need to know. Within the context of that class, one of the unique things that we have is a case presentation where each semester we create a case, or I create a case. It's about 30 or 40 pages long. It has complete with financial statements, scenarios, corporate structure, and the students are asked to do a complete risk management analysis, including enterprise risk management types of risks, and basically act as though they are an independent agent or they are an insurance broker, and then go ahead through that and make recommendations on how to fix the corporation. Once the case study has been completed, we also assemble a group of expert panelists, which are mainly risk managers from around the area and brokers, surplus lines representatives as well. And the students in their groups of 4 to 6 individuals will then present the key components of that case study to this expert panel. And it'll be about 20 minutes where they're doing the presentation, that they put together what are the main issues of the case, and then they also need to be ready to answer questions from that expert panel.
There are also opportunities for the students to get more hands-on experiences outside of the classroom.
The Risk Management Insurance Society at Appalachian is a group of where we have our majors, or any student who really wants to become a member is allowed membership, and we do during the course of the semester give the students opportunities to interact with industry personnel. We have speakers coming in, things like that. It would be similar on a national scale to the Gamma Iota Sigma national organization, which our students can also become a member of it at their choice. But we've chosen to do this a little bit more on a localized level.
Well, were it not for the Risk Management and Insurance Society at Appalachian State, I wouldn't be an insurance major. I had the good fortune of walking in on an RMI Society meeting in the fall of 2008, where a surplus lines insurance broker was giving a speech, and I redeclared my major the very next day.
The students are able to get an international perspective of the insurance industry on their annual trip to London.
The International Insurance Markets class trip to London was probably my favorite event. In my tenure as an insurance student at Appalachian State, we got to go to Lloyd's of London, some different Lloyd's syndicates, some Lloyd's brokerages, and it really gave us a better holistic view of what surplus lines insurance is like, both in America and globally.
But the most important thing that the program has done is produce successful graduates and place them in jobs all over the industry.
Well, one thing that I'm especially proud of is some of our graduates that have been out for several years. Now, I got a call today, this morning, from an insurance company that is part of a group, as many of them are. And the other group members were wanting to know what their secret was, because they've hired several of our students. They've been one of our recruiters for many years, and our students have our graduates have stayed with that company and have risen up through the ranks. And the other companies are having lots of trouble with turnover. Recruiting and retention has been very difficult for them, and so they were wanting to know, what is the deal? What is your relationship with Appalachian that enables you to hire these fantastic people and to have them come up through the ranks and to do so well. And so we were very, very proud of that success there, that when they go out and the students are successful, it's very fulfilling for a faculty member. And so that's really how I get my rewards or my kicks.
I tell friends and peers at Appalachian State who do not major in insurance that they are at a material disadvantage because of the opportunities that the Brantley Center affords its students and because of the connections that the faculty has.
When you talk about insurance education, I mean, the Georgias, the Florida states, the Wharton School, all come to people's minds when you talk about education. But I think because of our involvement with the 3 schools now in North Carolina has basically, in my mind, risen to the top as far as being the provider of premier insurance education for not only North Carolina but the entire United States. And so we really see this as a focus of our association in educating young minds to this industry, not only for our membership but the industry as a whole.
In addition to Appalachian State, UNC Charlotte has also developed a successful risk management and insurance program.
The association then involved itself with the University of North Carolina at Charlotte. There you had two faculty members, Dr. Neal and also Mr. Tom Marshall, who had experience not only in higher education but also experience in the industry on the company side and on the agency side. And so that was a perfect marriage as well for this association to be involved in their endeavors.
The program at UNC Charlotte got its start in 1998 with the help of a member of the Independent Insurance Agents of North Carolina.
The Cameron Harris, the Harris family, was a graduate of UNC Charlotte, and his family was in the insurance business. James Harris, a very large insurance agency in Charlotte. And it was their desire to fund a chair of insurance. So they sort of spearheaded getting the industry behind the developing a capital campaign and funding a chair of insurance, and also a distinguished professor of insurance. And that was completed around 1995. And then they recruited Claude Lilly to come to campus to fill the chair of insurance, and that was in '98. So that was the date that we really began. That was the official beginning of the program.
The number of students has almost tripled since the start of the program.
Dr. Lilly, shortly after he came to campus, he became the dean of the college, and he hired Mark Dorfman. So Mark was really the primary professor of insurance during that time period, in the late '90s and early 2000. And so we had about 25 students in that early beginning, and now we're up to about 70.
The Independent Insurance Agents of North Carolina's involvement in the program at UNC Charlotte has added to its success.
It's had a tremendous impact. We have a strong belief that the program needs to involve a heavy element from the insurance industry, an enrichment aspect, so that the students really can understand what is going on in the insurance industry. And we get that through partnering with the independent insurance agents. They allow our students, they invite our students to attend their conferences, and about 5 conferences during the year. They provide us with scholarship support. They have been a tremendous help to us, and without that help, it would be the program would not be the same. We would not have that enrichment element where the students can learn outside the classroom.
Internships are an important part of the curriculum at UNC Charlotte.
The biggest need that we have is for internships. So we would like every student to have an internship before they graduate that is within the area of their primary interest. So if they're interested in surplus lines, we would like them to have an opportunity to do a internship, maybe a summer internship or a minimum of a 40-hour internship with a company in the area that is their area of primary interest. And with 70 students, we would love to have 70 internship opportunities. We do get good support from the industry presently, but not enough to fill all the internship positions that we would like to fill.
There are several different aspects to the curriculum at UNC Charlotte.
Well, what we do is generally about a week or two before registration starts in a semester, I go to classes. I go to the Principles of Finance class, and I go to the Business Law class, and I do a short presentation to the students in all those classes about the risk management and insurance program. And during the course of that presentation, I am not only talking about our program and all the advantages and opportunities that our students have with that, but I'm also talking about Gamma Iota Sigma, because Gamma Iota Sigma is an important spoke in our program. Basically, we have 3 main components in our program that help to make our program like it is. And it's, of course, the Belk College of Business faculty, the RMI faculty, the industry support, and then the third are the students. The students through Gamma Iota Sigma provide us a lot of a lot of assistance and support to help bring these events. So when I'm recruiting for our program, I'm also recruiting for Gamma Iota Sigma, because if Tom Marshall and myself, if we didn't have the help of the students to help us put on the events, it would be very difficult for us to do all the events that we do, because it is just he, myself, and then we do have an adjunct professor that comes and teaches a class or two for us.
Recruiting students and showing them the wide variety of opportunities that the industry presents is a very important part of the program at UNC Charlotte.
Well, number one, when I start off, I ask them what they wanted to do when they were 5, what they wanted to do when they were 10, and then I tell them something to the extent of, I end up in risk management and insurance, and really there is nobody when they were 5 years old or 10 years old, when you ask them what they wanted to do, was it, oh, I want to go into insurance, except maybe Tom Marshall. Tom Marshall did. There's actually a picture of him reading The National Underwriter at age 12, and we have it. But besides that, he's the only person I know that ever wanted to go into the career. But now, lately with the financial meltdown, what I have been asking them, because all students are concerned about jobs. What kind of jobs are there? Will they be able to get a job when they leave the program? So I basically have recently in the past semester or two started off my presentation by introducing myself and then saying, how many of you know somebody that has canceled their homeowner's insurance as a result of this financial meltdown? Of course, nobody raises their hand. I said, how many of you have either canceled or know someone that has canceled their auto insurance as a result of the financial crisis? Again, nobody raises their hand. And that's how I begin the presentation, by letting them know that insurance is a very stable industry. Basically, insurance is a necessary item. It's not a luxury item. Now, granted, we do have some luxury insurance, but it is a basic need for all people. And so I pique their interest that way, and then I start talking about the different career paths in risk management and insurance. I explain that insurance is just a subcategory of risk management, and I talk about risk management. I talk about, of course, underwriting, claims, sales, human resources, financial planning, all of that. And then I bring up jobs, job notices. Usually we can find jobs around the country in risk management. And then I talk about how you need risk managers for cities, counties, small businesses, even though small businesses can't really afford risk managers, large cities, large companies, and then I talk about that. And once they see the variety of opportunity, whether it be what type of career path they take, whether they're inside an office, outside an office, what have you, then they become more interested. And then I also show them during the presentation, I have pictures of students that actually go to these conferences, that go to the legislative conference, the National Legislative Conference, or the Eastern Agents Conference, or the Western Agents Conference, or the annual conferences. We take pictures while we're there. I'll show them on the PowerPoint, and then most likely I know where those students have ended up. I can say this student went to Travelers, she's an underwriter. This student went to AAA Insurance and Sales. I can say that, and what'll a lot of times happen is at least one student in that room will know at least 1 or 2 students that I'm putting up on the PowerPoint. And so that really piques their interest. So they learn that, number one, risk management and insurance is a very needed field. Number 2, there's a wide variety of opportunities. Number 3, we have great industry support for our program and for our students. And then it kind of personalizes it for them when they can see students and people that they know or have met in the classroom already actually going on these events and these outings. So it's not just me standing up there saying this is what we do. I actually show them pictures and here we are doing it. And I think that makes a big difference.
UNC Charlotte also takes a group of students to London each year.
The London trip is a terrific opportunity for the students and for us as faculty. Every year that we go, I learn something new. And what we do is we take 5 nights, 6 days, usually toward the end of October, and we try to limit it to 8 students. Now last year we did take 9, but we try to take about 8 students over there to visit Lloyd's of London and also to visit our host over there. But probably the highlight of the trip is the students not only shadow brokers around London as they visit their clients and they're working on accounts, but they also get to sit with them on the floor of Lloyd's of London. So one of the underwriters in that syndicate that we're shadowing at actually has to give up their spot, and then our student will sit in there with them and watch them underwrite accounts. And it's just wonderful for our students, because it's one thing in the classroom to talk about globalization of insurance, to talk about reinsurance and how it impacts the market, and talk about the Bermuda market and all of this, and it's another for them to be able to go over there and say, you know, Lloyd's of London really does exist. This is where it started, and to actually see a lot of what we've been talking about in the classroom brought to life. It just has a tremendous impact on them.
As a component of the London trip, UNC Charlotte has added an advanced topics class to their curriculum.
The advanced topics course is a course that we developed, and it was Tom's brainchild. Terrific idea, because what happens with that London course, it takes a lot of planning, a lot of organizing, and there's steps that the students have to take. They have to get their passport, there's forms they have to complete, there's training that we have to give them, we have to brief them on what to expect when they're over there, how to act, cultural issues, all types of things. And we were having a difficult time because it was just an extracurricular opportunity. It was hard to get them all together in one spot and go over all of this, because you can't go over it all at one time. And so Tom had this terrific idea of having this advanced topics course, and basically what it is, it's advanced topics in global issues and risk management. So we use that course. It's got basically for two reasons. Number one, it's to get our students organized for London. As to make it a part of a formal course makes it more important to them. We're able to make them meet certain requirements during certain times. We can make sure that they're getting the training and the briefings that they need, because we do it in class as part of one of our topics. And then also the students that do not go to London, they are required to do a 40-hour unpaid internship in the industry. The really neat thing about the advanced topics course, it's actually only open to select students, so they're only able to get into the course if we select them. So they apply, and then they have to go through a process of both Tom and I have to select them and qualify them for the course. And I really enjoy the course because it's very flexible. We can change the content of the course. It's more of a seminar style course. We can build upon the basic knowledge that the students have had in our other classes and expand upon it. So if something comes in the news about healthcare reform, then we can address that the next week in our class while the students are still excited about it. And so it's very flexible. We are able to introduce topics to our students that we would not otherwise be able to introduce them to. It is an elective, and only probably our most motivated really take it because they're either taking it because they're going to London, or they're just very interested in learning more about the industry and in more deeper content.
Nico Maddock from Bosnia is a risk management and insurance major at UNC Charlotte.
The main reason I wanted to go in the insurance industry is because of Professor Marshall. I took two of his courses, Principles and Life Insurance and Planning, and after those two courses I learned so much. It's common sense knowledge, but you wouldn't know it unless you took his class. And that motivated me, and I got to know Professor Marshall really well, and he guided me in the right direction into getting my internship for the summer. And I've been really thankful for it all. And also insurance is really interesting because there's so many different segments to it all, and it just doesn't seem boring, and I enjoy it.
The newest insurance program in the state is at East Carolina University.
The establishment of the East Carolina program basically goes back to an allegiance that my predecessor Bob Byrd had to his alma mater, East Carolina University. And I'll back up if I can before I talk about East Carolina, and just saying that the association had its start in 1898. I'm honored to be the fourth CEO of this association. So to follow the footsteps of a Dick Brantley and follow the footsteps of a Robert Byrd means a lot to me personally. And so we attached the name of Dick Brantley or Richard Brantley to Appalachian State. Upon Bob Byrd's retirement as CEO of this association, his 20 years with this association, our board, our membership thought it was very appropriate then to begin to talk about Bob's name being attached to the program there at East Carolina, because we knew that there was a desire from the College of Business and from the university to start a curriculum of risk management and insurance. And so we thought, again, it was very appropriate and very timely upon Bob's retirement to name that after Bob Byrd.
Well, the agents, the IANC, have been extremely generous with our program. They funded the Bob Byrd Chair, which I will be rolling into in the next year or so, with a $500,000 donation. And they've also put in, I believe it's $100,000 to fund student scholarships. And we get an annual grant each year from their surplus funds that other schools get as well. This year we got a little over $7,000 to fund some student travel to go to the Big I Legislative Conference in Washington, D.C. They gave us about a $7,000 grant to fund student travel and some promotional items for publicizing our major. We've taken trips to Washington, D.C. with several of our student leaders for the Big I Legislative Conference, and we've gone to the IANC's Eastern Agents Conference, and then in July we will be taking a group of students to the Young Agents Conference in Myrtle Beach. So they are completely responsible for starting the program. It would not exist without them.
With the program in its beginning stages, the students are also working to help with its development.
We just started our risk management and insurance program. We just got recognized this spring, and we are trying to start a foundation for scholarships for all the majors in our program, as well as just the basic, we want to do a tutoring center for classes. We want to do more trips for people. We want to get more funding for those. This summer, my main goal is to get more people interested. So during summer orientations, we're going to be there all day, every day, talking with people and getting people interested in the industry and our program. I mean, our program is we're really just trying to get funded, founded, just like App State and Charlotte, and get those opportunities out there for not only everybody who's in it, like the 20 students who are in it now, but the future students, and have it going for the next 20 or 40 or however many years.
While the growth and expansion of the program over the next several years is important to the faculty at ECU, making sure each student receives individual attention is also a priority.
We would like to be a reasonably good-sized program. I consider that to be 75 to 100 majors. Any bigger than that, and I think you lose the ability to serve them personally, which is very important to me and to ECU. So we'd like to have a combination of full-time faculty and adjunct faculty to teach the students, to give them a nice, well-rounded education. And I would like to have, I guess you never want to turn away a major, but I would like to have about 100 at the most, simply because when it gets too big, you can't know your students. I take pride in knowing all their names, what they want to do, where they want to go. You can't do that if you get over about 100 students. But if we have that many students and that many jobs, we'll take them.
Getting the students out of the classroom and getting them involved in the industry is key to their learning process at East Carolina University.
Well, with IANC's help, we have a travel grant to keep the students involved at their activities. I've been doing this for over 20 years and teaching insurance and risk management at the collegiate level, and you can't produce a good graduate without that kind of exposure. I mean, it just, they're book smart and real world ignorant, and we don't want that. We want them out involved with the industry. So we're going to use the support from the agents to get our students to the Big I conference in the fall, keep them going to the legislative conference. We want them participating with young agents a great deal because they can probably relate to them a little better than us more seasoned members of the industry. And we're also going to do some things with CPCU. I'm a CPCU and have been for quite a while. We want to get involved with CPCU. We've already got some connections with Piedmont RIMS chapter. We've sent students there several times for their lunches. I unfortunately haven't been able to go, but I will. We have an associate dean who has built a nice relationship with them. We are hoping to, with Wayne's help, we are hoping to make some connections with the surplus lines industry. So the idea is to keep the students out, active, participating. We're going to take some field trips to some insurance companies. Ultimately, I'd like to get them to London. I know some of the other schools are doing that, and there's no substitute for that international experience. So as much as I can get them outside this classroom and outside this university and going to places where the agents are and where the business is actually happening, we're going to be doing as much of that as we can.
I've been to 2 conferences. I went to CPCU in Charlotte, which was my first eye-opener to the industry, and it was a lot of fun. It was really interesting. It was smaller, so I got to speak with more people. I felt more personal. I got more information. The Washington, D.C. trip, the Big I, was very exciting and more glamorous, I want to say. But it was interesting to see how connected we are to Washington, and it made me feel more involved in not only our government, but also the industry.
Students at East Carolina University are attracted to the risk management major because of the flexibility and variety that it offers.
It's fun to sell this major when you go into various classes to tell the students that it's available, and our faculty here have been very supportive of me going into the introductory law classes, which every business major has to take, and the personal finance classes, which have a variety of majors from around the university that just want to learn a little bit more about personal finance and how to manage their own finances. And what I always tell them is I think a major, whatever you pick, in addition to being something that you like, it should have 3 major characteristics. It should be marketable. You should be able to get a job. Well, we got that one covered. The insurance agents are hiring, the insurance companies are hiring. Appalachian State, I know, is running a near 100% employment rate, so the jobs are there. It should be flexible. It should offer them a lifetime of career options, something that when you're 25 and you want to travel and see lots of things and be gone away from home and do catastrophe claims or international insurance transactions, you should be able to do that. And then when you want to have a family, you can kind of dial it back and be home more and not travel as much. And also, the third thing that they should get is they should get service from their professors. I should help them find internships, which I do. I should help them find jobs, which I do. And the professors in the major field should always be available to their students. But what I find is that the career that we're selling more and more, and I've had more interest in it in the last 5 years or so, is production. Because the insurance agency work it's entrepreneurial. It combines so many talents into one, and these students in this generation are much more willing to take those leaps, those chances of starting a business and they want more of the flexibility and the ownership of their schedule and their day.
With more graduates going into independent agencies, agency management education will become more important.
Ultimately, at some point, I would like to offer an agency management course here. I took that as an undergrad from Dr. E.J. Leverett, who was the founder of the University of Georgia program, and he had run several successful agencies. And I learned so much in that class, even though I've never become an agent or owned an agency. I have been an agent. It was a very valuable class that I think eventually all of our majors, we should try to get them into, because even if they don't want to do production, they need to know how to serve the producers, because you don't have an industry without the producers.
The risk management staff at East Carolina University has developed a curriculum that spans a variety of different areas of the insurance industry.
The administrators here put a program on paper so that I'd have something to work with when I got here last fall. We have already the program as it is laid out is going to offer a principles of risk management insurance class, commercial property and liability insurance, which I'll be teaching, corporate and financial risk management, which we have for the time, at least the first time we offer it, we're going to have Dr. Campbell teach that, who has an actuarial background, and I think she'll be really good at that, and she's a very, very good teacher. We're also teaching employee benefits and retirement planning. Now those are the 4 must-haves. Then we have a list the students can choose 2 classes from. I'm going to hopefully expand that list and focus it a little better on the things that the industry thinks are important, like professional selling, service. We already have services marketing on it, but I think professional selling is a good one. We will also hopefully be able to expand that list a little bit to some things that would allow a student to specialize in something that really interests them. For instance, if they really like construction or have a construction background, that would logically make them a good property underwriter or claims adjuster. So I'd like for them to be able to take a construction or engineering course if they want to. So those are the 4 basics, and we also have an insurance law course that we're going to be offering too, and I think that one's going to be really useful.
With the independent insurance agents of North Carolina's help in developing and funding the risk management programs at Appalachian State, UNC Charlotte, and East Carolina University, North Carolina has quickly made its mark on insurance education.
I was trained at the University of Georgia, which has one of the top 5 programs in the country. And I feel like I was trained by some of the best educators that you could have. And then I've spent 17 years teaching at a school in Texas, so I've watched how academia treats the insurance programs that are out there, and I've seen a lot of them come and go. I've seen some die on the vine, and I've really hated to see that, and North Carolina is just absolutely blazing a trail in insurance education by funding these programs. I mean, we have Appalachian State, they have a great program. We have UNC Charlotte, they have a great program, and now we're building one here. I mean, 3 programs that are well-funded, supported by industry, supported by the university systems of the state. I don't know that there's any other state in the country that has that. We're seeing a few programs pop up. University of Southern Maine has started one. There's one in Butler University. And you have a handful of programs around the country that are starting up, but for every one of those that's starting up, I can probably think of 2 that have been either done away with or watered down and taken over so much by other disciplines that they're not really serving our industry. And they're certainly not serving the agents of the state that they're in. So, I mean, North Carolina with 3 well-funded, well-supported programs is just amazing. And I think we are setting a trend that will get some national attention very soon. It certainly deserves it.
The partnership between the independent insurance agents of North Carolina and the 3 universities will have a great impact on the quality of the leadership in the insurance industry worldwide for years to come.
I think our involvement with the industry has a lot of attachments to it. Students coming out of Appalachian State University, students coming out of University of North Carolina at Charlotte, and hopefully students coming out of East Carolina University, I think will, whether it's on a producer, on the producer side where they work in a particular agency, I think will bring a wealth of knowledge to the consumer out there in North Carolina. When a consumer wants to buy their insurance, not only do they want to think about just what the price is of buying that insurance, but I also think that they want some advice and they want some good educational information that can be applied to that. So for the consumer in North Carolina, I think you have above the average or above par insurance agent out there, and especially those who have been educated in these three institutions. As an association, I think we're dealing in a world market, and the experience that is gathered from our students in these three institutions, I think, brings a world-type perspective to our industry and to some of the issues that our agents and our members are dealing with. So I think that also brings somewhat of a facet to our association and to the benefit of our association that a lot of associations really don't have the value of benefiting from.
As the programs at Appalachian State, UNC Charlotte, and East Carolina continue to develop and grow, the members of the Independent Insurance Agents of North Carolina should feel very proud of the contributions that IIANC has made to these three programs. The future of the insurance industry is certainly much brighter because of the insurance leaders that these universities are producing. However, your continued support is needed to ensure that these programs will be able to provide a premier education for our future leaders. Thank you for watching, and thank you IIANC for ensuring our future.